Alright guys, welcome back to What If Bardock Survived. I'm enjoying this series, hope you're enjoying it too. With that being said, let's get to it. And I have a unique saga to replace the Goku Black saga. That started all off, and we're not doing the Universe 6 and 7 tournament, because I always do it, so why not change it up a bit and skip it? I don't know. Anyway, let's start it off. Everything seemed normal, and ever since Frieza came and was erased, everyone's been a bit on edge. And they're surprised that Beerus helped them. But all they could do was train. As Bardock was training one day, suddenly a portal would open, as another Bardock would walk through with a mask on his face. This shocked him, as Kakarot and Broly looked confused, as this Bardock looked at him and began to laugh. Hello. It seems that my time is near. Bardock would look up in confusion and say, listen, I don't know what you're talking about, but then Timebreaker Bardock would just land. I am here for revenge, not against you, but against the gods themselves. Now, let me have it. As he would start to fly off, Bardock would grab him and throw him to the floor. I don't know who you are or what the hell you want, but you need to give me answers. Timebreaker Bardock would look at him and say, I don't want to fight you, but I will if I have to. Bardock would say, you're not going to touch the Supreme Kai, as they both would start to battle each other. Bardock would look at Timebreaker Bardock. Why are you doing this? Suddenly he would stop fighting. I should explain why. I don't want to fight you. You see, there will be something called the Tournament of Power, and afterwards you'll get old, so old you'll quickly die. The Omni Kings won't like that, so they'll bring you back and turn you into a puppet, a plaything, to live forever, and to fight for them in their tournaments. Bardock looked horrified. He heard about the Omni King from Beerus, but he's never seen him. As he would begin to shake, is that what happened to you? Yes. I must stop this. I must stop the Omni King from turning me into a puppet, so I can die in peace. Timebreaker Bardock would yell. Bardock could sense that he wasn't lying, as then Bardock would agree to help Timebreaker Bardock, and they would stop the Omni King from turning him into a puppet. Broly and Kakarot would shock, but they would both agree. But what would they do? How would they stand up to the Omni King, and how would they stop this Tournament of Power? Timebreaker Bardock would look and say, when they turned me into a toy, they gave me the power to travel through space and time. So I'm going to go get the Super Dragon Balls. And I'm going to kill all the gods of destruction and murder all their Supreme Kais. But then Bardock would look at him and say, no, you can't do that. Why? Because they didn't do anything. The Omni King's the one that screwed you over. Timebreaker Bardock would say, Beerus sold us out. He said, did he? They would start to yell at each other. As they would continue to yell and argue, Broly would cut them off. Stop it. Now, we shouldn't murder all the gods because of some terrible thing one did. He would say, but they're all on the Omni King's side because they have to be. Timebreaker Bardock would sigh and finally agree, as they needed to come up with a plan. Timebreaker Bardock smirked and said, there should be a Universe 6 and 7 tournament coming around. When you all start to fight in the tournament, I'll steal the Dragon Balls, and I'll make a wish to make the Omni King fall asleep forever. They all agreed. As Timebreaker Bardock left, a couple days later, Beerus would suggest a tournament since he met his brother, and they would agree, as the Universe 6 and 10 tournament would start to begin. As it begun, Timebreaker Bardock would move the Super Dragon Balls very slowly towards the planet, knowing that it's a Dragon Ball. Once they're all gathered, he can make a wish, but he needed a distraction, because doing this is gonna make it, well, it's gonna be visually notable when you move planet-sized objects, so he was hoping the battle would be distracting enough. This first match was Butamu versus Broly. Broly looked at Butamu, and as Butamu got ready to fight, Broly would simply smirk. So this is who I'm fighting against, a fat bear. Butamu would say, watch it. I can absorb energy. No matter what you do, I will win. Broly would just laugh. I fought a god of destruction. You think I'm scared of this? Butamu would look angrily,
As Broly punched him, he absorbed the punch, and as Butami began to laugh, he said, See, I can absorb all of your punches, all of your hits. But then Broly grabbed him by the legs and began to drag him. Butami would say, What are you doing? Throwing you off the ring. And he just threw him off the ring like that. Kaba was a bit impressed with Universe 7 Saiyans. He didn't know much about them, but they seemed very interesting. After that, the next match would
be Broly versus Frost. Frost had a plan to cheat. After all, everyone thinks he's a great guy. He can easily get away with it. As Frost and Broly looked at each other, they began to exchange words, exchange names, and Frost would tell him how good of a person he was. Broly felt something was off. He's met a lot of people across the universe, and Frost seemed like he was hiding something, but maybe he's just paranoid. Broly and Frost would begin the battle. As Broly would turn green and say, Go straight into your final form, I'm not joking. As he battled Frost with everything he had, Frost would be forced to transfer to his final form. But even then, he was still getting pushed back. So he decided to cheat, as he stabbed Broly with a needle. But then Broly looked at him and smirked. You really think that would do something? I am the legendary Super Saiyan. You think a pathetic needle and poison could affect me? I injected myself to poison again and again until I built up a new immunity. I did it to all the poisons in my universe. And Universe 6 isn't that different. Frost would say, Well, why? Because my weakness. If I pass out, I can't keep fighting. That's the only way they could beat me, so I had to remedy that. Frost, you're pathetic for trying to cheat. And you're even more pathetic for calling yourself a warrior. I bet you lied. You didn't help a single person your entire life. Frost would say, Shut up, as he would punch Broly straight in the face, but it would do nothing, as he would simply kick him off the edge. As Broly won the first battle, suddenly, Hit would look at him quite intrigued, as the next match would be Kaba versus Broly. Broly got ready to fight, as Kaba did too. Kaba would look at Broly excited. So, why are you here? Broly would smirk and say, To have fun, of course. As Broly would sigh and say, Come on, Bardock, you gotta hurry. As Timebreaker Bardock moved all the Dragon Balls together, he could bring back Mega Shenron anytime he wanted, but he was interested in watching, so he watched Broly fight Kaba. And after Broly won, he just jumped off the edge when he was against Vegeta. Everyone was shocked, as he said, I wanted my dad to have a turn. So the next match was Bardock versus Vegeta. Beerus would yell at Broly for jumping off like that, but he would just say whatever. As Vegeta got ready to fight, so did Bardock, as he turned Super Saiyan, and Bardock fought against Vegeta as he shot Lava Beam after Lava Beam, Lava Blast after Lava Blast. As then, Bardock would charge a Kamehameha, as Vegeta would charge a giant Lava Blast, as they both hit each other. As the entire ring was focused on this, everyone watching the tournament, Timebreaker Bardock knew it was his time to shine. As then, he began to summon the passcode, Zama Zaba Zubizu, peas and carrots! As suddenly, the Supreme Dragon, Master Shenron, would appear. As Shenron took up the entire universe, everyone was shocked as they saw a huge dragon fly towards them and engulf them. As Beerus would be angry, Someone stole our wish! Timebreaker Bardock knew he had to make the wish fast, as he heard Beerus and Champa flying towards him. As then, he would wish for the Omni King to fall asleep forever. The dragon would grant his wish, as all the Super Dragon Balls would begin to disperse. Beerus would fly towards him. Who's dumb enough to steal? But then he saw it was Bardock. But then he looked behind him and Bardock was behind him. How is this possible? Bardock would laugh and say, I was a tool to the gods, but now I am free. As then he would take off his mask and reveal a man with gray hair everywhere. An old Saiyan that just wants to die but couldn't. He would say, I did it. I saved the day. As then, he would just instant transmission away. It seemed like he learned a technique. And Bardock, learning the technique from Timebreaker Bardock, would put 2 fingers on his head too. Goodbye, Beerus. Have fun without your king, as they all instant transmissioned away. And that's going to leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe when you know the series so far. After this, there'll be one more part, and And without the Omni King, the universes will start to fall apart, and I have an interesting arc in mind. I didn't want to do Tournament of Power because I'm not really that good at it, and I struggle with that more than anything, so I decided to have this instead. Have the universe falling apart arc without their Grand King. And instead of having Goku Black, I used Timebreaker Bardock to merge two sagas into one because, well, why not? It's my series, I can do whatever I want. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this. Let me know how your day's been in the comments below. Peace out. Love you all.